The Never Ending Campfire Story, a story by Reddit user Jackfruitelegant7903. In our small, desolate town of Pine Grove, my friends and I gathered around a flickering campfire on the outskirts of town, where the shadows of the forest loomed menacingly in the darkness. We reveled in the art of storytelling, particularly in sharing creepy tales that sent shivers down our spines. Tonight, though, was different. This time, the stories seemed to come to life. "The Shadow Collector," began Jake, his voice quivering, is a tall, enigmatic figure draped in a dark cloak, notorious for abducting people and leaving no trace behind. As we shared chilling accounts of encounters with the Shadow Collector, we couldn't shake the feeling that we were being watched. The wind picked up, causing the trees to rustle and the shadows to dance, as if in response to our fear. Next, it was my turn. I whispered the gruesome tale of the grinning psychopath, a deformed man with a hideous, permanent smile, who would break into people's homes and whisper, "Go to sleep," before brutally murdering them. My friend's eyes darted around the darkness, expecting to see the monster lurking in the shadows. As the night wore on, the stories became darker and more twisted. We spoke of the Pale Hunter, a pale, humanoid creature with sharp claws, known to stalk its prey and eviscerate them in their sleep. We whispered of the Shapeshifter, a creature that could mimic the appearance and voice of any living being, and use its disguise to lure its victims to their doom. With each story, we felt the atmosphere growing heavier and more sinister, as if the creatures we spoke of were closing in on us. We huddled closer together, our breaths shallow and our hearts pounding in our chests. The darkness seemed to be alive, the shadows reaching out to us, beckoning us to join the horrors that lurked within. As we exchanged stories, I couldn't help but ask, how long has this been going on? Why can't I remember the last time I was anywhere else? In the midst of our storytelling, said Emma, her voice shaking, I've realized we've all been sharing the same recurring nightmare for weeks. We looked at each other in horror and came to the same chilling conclusion. The stories we shared around the campfire were not mere works of fiction, but real accounts of our own experiences. We were the monsters in the stories. As we looked around the fire, our faces contorted in terror and disbelief, we saw each other transform before our very eyes. The Shadow Collector, the grinning psychopath, the Pale Hunter, the Shapeshifter, they were all there, embodied in the people we had trusted and loved. Each of us, upon realizing our monstrous identities, recalled the horrifying things we had done. Jake, as the Shadow Collector, had taken people from their homes, vanishing without a trace. I, as the grinning psychopath, had invaded the sanctity of people's homes and brutally murdered them in their sleep. Emma, the Pale Hunter, had stalked unsuspecting victims, leaving them mutilated beyond recognition. And finally, Lily, the Shapeshifter, had impersonated loved ones, leading them to their gruesome demise. The truth was more horrifying than any story we could have ever told. We were trapped in a never-ending cycle of nightmares, forced to relive our twisted, monstrous existences every night, and to share our stories with each other in a desperate, futile attempt to break free from the darkness that consumed us. In the end, the scariest story was the one we lived.